I'm Ethan, I love muzzleloading. Today we're doing the Cabin Fever Challenge. I'll have links in the description for this video if you want to learn more about the Cabin Fever Challenge, but in short, it's about timed positional shooting with different divisions set up for different kinds of rifles. They do have a special division made up for muzzleloaders, and that's what we're competing in or participating in here today. Your target for the muzzleloader division is an 8-inch black circle, so you can print it out on an 8.5 by 11, set at that 50 yards. This year for the Cabin Fever Challenge, I decided to do it on hard mode. I think I've got my 69 caliber smoothbore Charleville Musket that you've seen in some of the other videos. So there's no rifling in this, which makes it a lot of fun shooting at 50 yards. And then what I'm actually shooting here is I'm pulling out of my cartridge box, and I've pre-made a series of semi-historically accurate Charleville cartridges based on some of the research that I've done. So I've actually got a 66 caliber round ball in here, I believe. I've got it twisted and tied around the ball to keep the ball and the powder separate. And then I've got 80 grains of GoX 2F powder here at the top. Now, historically, you'd see, and I think by the manual of arms and things, you'd tear the cartridge, prime your pan, and then finish loading down the bore. But modern safety practice asks everybody to load everything and then prime the pan afterward, just as a safety precaution. So that's why we're not doing that in the video. It's not a historical shooting, trying to adhere to some of those more contemporary safety standards.
That two sharp rocks make bang. This one's prone. This one is sitting.
Oh no.
The long 50-yard walk of shame.
The walk of shame. I like that.
Oh, look. You don't have a zero.
Out of a smoothbore Charleville Musket at 50 yards, I feel pretty good about this shot in particular. We have 3 shots in line here. My windage was a little bit off. So I think the last shot is probably over here somewhere. Really pleased with the performance. This is the first time I've shot this particular musket at this small of a target, especially at this kind of range. And we had 3 shots in line, which I feel pretty good about. The one in the center out of that first shot standing, feel really good about. And then just like last year coming out of this challenge, as far as kind of a recap goes, just feel really energized starting the new year. This is the first time I've been out this year to get out and shoot, and doing it with a smoothbore like this, having some fun with the Cabin Fever Challenge was just a really great way to start the year.
Show us the rear sights on your Charleville.
Oh yes, if you'd like to see the rear sights on the Charleville, they don't exist. We have This screw back here, which if you strain your eye a little bit, it gives you a marker for kind of the center of the top of your barrel. But all you have to shoot and get an idea of is your front sight up here on this barrel band. And the previous owners dipped that in a little bit of paint there, but on a kind of a drippy, snowy day like today, doesn't really help you out a lot.
All right, for the Cabin Fever Challenge 2023, I'm shooting the brown Bess musket of British and American Revolution fame. This one is a Pedersoli reproduction, and I've had this thing for many years, and I used to shoot it a lot more aggressively, but never like this. So quite a fun challenge. And it's a 75 caliber-ish, and I'm shooting 69 caliber balls, right? So that's historically correct with a modern 80 grain of Swiss 2F powder charge, which pretty much simulates, and pretty much simulates what they had. Also, I have a buck and ball, which we did not shoot today. And I differentiate the buck and balls by having a twist tail in my cartridge box. There's not much of a rear sight. Unlike the Charleville, which has a nice big screw, we don't even have that. And technically, this does not even have a front sight. This has a bayonet lug, which happens to be something you can sometimes take a sight picture off of.
It's a pretty wide sight picture.
It is. And I've had a few minor embellishments done to mine. I have a mythical B Company of the 65th Regiment, which doesn't exist, but it's Barry and my year of birth, 1965. And I had a guy down in Friendship do that carving for me.
Your high power days.
Yep. Ah. Long ramrod.
What do you think?
I think that's about as much fun as you can have with a muzzleloader. Even if it don't always go boom, and even if you don't hit the target. But lots of appreciation for what it took to keep these things running, especially under stress. Normally in muzzleloading, there's no stress.
Yeah.
So the cabin fever challenge positional shooting and the timer adds that stress, and it's great. It really is. Different it is from what we normally do with muzzleloading.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less gentlemanly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're all total gentlemen in normal muzzleloading.
Yeah. Okay, well, I can see 3. 1, 2, 3. I think we have 0 on the black, but the fact that there's 3, period, awesome.
So how did the match go, Barry? What's your post-match commentary?
Well, I guess hitting the target isn't really all that important, so much as getting 4 shots off in positional shooting in this kind of wonderful weather. And I'm glad we at least have a little bit of white. Last year's cabin fever challenge, we had a chill, but no snow, and I felt really like I was being put up by the guys up in Canada, people like Rob Enfield who do it in the snow and in the kilt, or the guys in Finland who seem to have snow, 12-foot snow banks around them. So I'm glad we at least have some inclement weather.
And this is high-speed, low-drag muzzleloader shooting. Oh, my hands. I always like to do the cabin fever challenge a couple times because it's a lot of fun. I've got my cameraman Barry here helping out, which is good, and it's fun to try it a couple different ways. So that time I was just getting kind of pointed in the right direction and just loading and getting through the positions as quickly as I could. And here's our target. So very similar results, which is interesting. We have one in the black, which for this challenge, just anything in the black counts. And we have one in the white there. And
Don't know what else.
The other ones are just, living their best lives. As always, a lot of fun here with the Cabin Fever Challenge. Just really get out and do this, guys. I'll try to get the word out a little bit faster next year maybe, but there's still some time by the time that you're seeing this to get out and try it. Please do it. It's a ton of fun.